Gather round the fire, little ones, for I shall tell thee a tale that some of you would not believe. A tale of greed, a tale of jealousy, of hubris, audacity, lies, and utter stupidity. A tale of marketing. It began a long time ago. We were at the end of a console generation. In the minds of impressionable consumers, the promise of new hardware sparked dreams of photorealism, high resolutions, high frame rates, giant worlds, uncounted number of characters on screen, and so much more. Bigger, better, bolder, brighter, maybe now with no brown filter. The first taste of this 8th generation of video game consoles that we got came in the form of the Wii U, which was a regrettable mistake that we all have forgotten about and shall never mention again outside of videos and articles entitled Nintendo's Worst Ideas Since the Virtual Boy. So we're not going to take that into account. No, instead, the first sample of this new age came in the summer of 2012 at E3 in the form of this very demo. This totally legit in-game running on real-world hardware gameplay demo. Gaze upon its beauty, its detail, its people who are totally pressing buttons that correspond to things happening on screen. This was Watch Dogs, the first true next-gen title from Ubisoft. This was surely what we could expect to see in a year or two on the PlayStation 4 and on the Xbox One. Right? Right? Right?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer every night.
Picture this. You are a AAA mega publisher. You're planning on making games for the hot new console generation. You even have some exclusivity deals with one or both of them. You still have no information on what the hardware is. You just know it's going to be amazing, so you push it. You cram in as many things as possible. And then you hear the rumor. 8 cores. More RAM than you can count, and probably a GPU that will knock your socks off. So you go bigger. It's make or break time, and you break the bank. You go to E3, you show off games that will make your face melt. Everyone loves you so much. Everyone is going crazy about your new game. You are God. And then Microsoft tells you what the hardware is. A low-power AMD APU based on Bulldozer with some stupid scheme of using 32 megabytes of ESRAM for stuff. But it's okay, it's fine. Sony's going to do something different, right? They have to. They made that cell broadband processor, which, while a bitch to work with, was so powerful that you could run all the graphics on the CPU, since the NVIDIA GPU that it shipped with was a pile of crap. The next generation of the cell is gonna be amazing. It'll make every CPU redundant. But there it is. The same bullshit Bulldozer APU. Oh sure, it's got a few more compute cores and actual video memory, but it's the same damn CPU. So you start to panic. What are you gonna do? This has got to be a prank, right? You look at Microsoft again and maybe they changed their mind and now they're going on and on about some bullshit of using the cloud to accelerate games, and they're really leaning into turning your console into a surveillance device for the NSA's PRISM program. You start hyperventilating, you start shaking, the games don't work, none of them work, they're slideshows. There's only one thing you can do, the only thing you've always done. You take your hands, you firmly grasp those cheeks and you shove your head so far up your own ass that you can almost see sunlight. And there you find it, the solution. Were people really expecting games to run at 60 frames a second, 15 PAL regions, like they've done since the Magnavox Odyssey and arcade days? Were people really expecting higher resolutions? Aren't those things actually bad? Shouldn't we strive for something more meaningful than that in games? Is an art form like charging money for cheats or turning kids into gambling addicts and firing developers if they ask to work less than 80 hours a week? Can't we get them to think that 24 frames a second, which is what we can achieve for most of the time, realistically speaking, is better, more compelling, dare I say it, more cinematic? So they did what every grifter without a leg to stand on does in these situations. They started a conversation about how objective reality is actually not real, about how those Hobbit movies looked terrible at 48 frames a second, so a game would also look terrible at high frame rates. Who needs that? 24 is the way to go, but maybe not 24. That wouldn't be great for input response, so let's make a compromise and make it 30. Sure, it wouldn't be as cinematic, but if we repeat it often enough, you'll think it's fine for action games and driving games and shooters. What do you mean by shutter speed and blur? We can add those in post-processing, can't we? And what's this 1080p people keep talking about? Wouldn't 800p be better? And hey, that 16:9 aspect ratio, doesn't it have maybe by default too many pixels? Can't we shave off some of them to hopefully get 30 frames a second working on this piece of burning crap of a console for our 4-hour Papa Mole QuickTime event latent tech demo that everybody forgot about already? And so it was for months and months and months. The controversy, the discussion, the dialogue, the gaslighting. Developers chugging the Kool-Aid hard, wishing they had gone indie long before being forced to peddle the marketing spiel. Thousands of 12-year-olds who don't even know what a resolution is, proclaiming that things going backwards is actually good. I mean, can we even see more than 24 frames a second with your eyes? And if games were running at 60 frames a second, it'd be like a soap opera or like on those PC things. You wouldn't want games running on your precious console like they do on a PC, now wouldn't you? Those things are for spreadsheets at a desk, not gaming on a couch. I mean, just look at them. Those dirty people trying to unlock frame rates like savages instead of appreciating how responsive a Need for Speed game is at 30 frames a second with physics locked to that frame rate. I mean, all the games are developed firstly and foremost on the PC as a leading platform, as long as we convince you to buy them, but they're not. That's why they run like garbage even on SLI configurations. And some of them ship without DirectX draw frame calls, which Nvidia has to fix in the driver, or else the game won't run at all. There was, however, a silver lining. Very few people, in the grand scheme of things, actually bought into the bullshit. The downgrades, or how Ubisoft put it, the parity, was so blatant that something unprecedented happened. New consoles were announced just 3 years after the first ones shipped. Technically, they were in the same console generation, much in the same way that the GameCube and the Wii were in the same console generation. But hey, now they had GPUs that were 4 to 5 times as big, and even dedicated hardware upscaling. Same CPUs though with a bit of an overclock. And look how cheap those 4K Sony TVs are getting these days. And some of them go all the way up to 120 Hz. You say, well, this changes things. All of it went away. All the circle jerking about resolution being just a number evaporated. The entire Wankfest about 30 frames a second being cinematic vanished. The idiotic discourse on social media and forums and in various articles was snapped out of existence. Every marketing ghoul shut up about it and started working on their next big thing, like selling you on the idea of not owning the games that you buy, making everything an NFT, selling a 460 Ti as a 480 12 gig, or pretending to give a crap about women and minorities. The Wankfest goes on.